Welcome and thank you very much everyone visiting this tutorial. This tutorial is about the third chapter of the course Organizational Behavior and Theory. Previously we seen about the first chapter and the second chapter, and in the first chapter we discussed about organizations, right from the meaning of organizations, the forms of organizations, characteristics of organizations, and associated issues. In the second chapter we have seen about organizational behavior, and we defined organizational behavior, and we have seen the historical evolution of organizational behavior, the field of discipline, and we have seen different issues that are related with organizational behavior. And in generic, we said that organizational behavior is a human aspect of management. It doesn't represent the whole management, but it is about the individuals and the group's behavior, attitude, values, and overall behavior of the individuals and groups in the organizational setting. And in this third chapter of the course, we will be dealing about organizational theory. Organizational theory is one of the main themes in the course Organizational Behavior and Theory, and we will be looking in detail into the subject of organizational theory. Let us start from definition and scope of organizational theory. Organizational theory is a field. Okay, it is management. It is, one of the branch of management study, and it is a field of study that examines the structure, management, and behavior of organizations. Okay, let us make a comparison, and we have said last time that organizational behavior is about human aspect. Okay, about human aspect in the organizational setting. In this organization, in this chapter, we will be looking into organizational theory, and organizational theory is about organizations themselves, about organization itself. Okay, in a sense, organizational theory examines about structure, management, behavior of organizations. Okay, not behavior of individuals, not behavior of groups, but behavior of organizations themselves. Okay, organizational design, how organizations function, organizational work processes, organizational setting. Okay, it is a study of organizations. Okay, not but that doesn't mean it doesn't touch to some extent about human behavior. It touches, but in larger part it concerns about, or in its virtual totality, it is attributed to the study of organizations, behavior of organizations, how organizations are structured, how organizations are managed, how organizations are led, how organizations are managed, how organizations are designed. Okay, all this are the concern of organizational theory. It is concerned with understanding how organizations function, okay, how they achieve their goals, and how they can be improved. Okay, so it understands these organizations in many dimensions, and it deals about how organizations can achieve their goals and objectives, and how the performance of organizations can be improved, can be progressed. And it is a systematic study. Okay, organizational theory is not something arbitrary. It is not something that is random, but organizational theory is a scientific, orderly, and a systematic study of the structure, processes, and outcomes of organizations, including their internal dynamics and relationship with their environment. Okay, organizations last time. Okay, you can, by the way, you can go back and listen to the previous tutorials regarding the first chapter and the second chapter, and in one way or in another way, this chapter is also related with the previous two chapters. Last time we said organizations function in the wider spectrum of their environment, okay, both internal and external environment. And when one studies about organizations, he or she has to understand in a well manner the internal dynamics, okay, the internal environment, okay, the internal setup of the organizations, and also the external connection of the organization with its stakeholders. Depending upon the form and the size of the organization, organizations could have a wide stakeholders or a narrow scope of stakeholders. It depends, but whatever it is, organizational theory is about the study of structures, processes, outcomes, designs, management, leadership of organizations, to the extent of analyzing its internal dynamics and its relationship with external environments. Okay. Organizational theory is also the study of how organizations are designed, managed, and led. That is what we are saying, and how they influence the behavior and performance of their members. Okay. The concern of organizational theory is not just about organizational design, organizational management, organizational leadership, organizational outcomes, organizational aspects, but it also concerns about how these things influence the behavior and performance of the employees, either individually or in groups. Okay, either individually or in groups. How the structure, how the management, how the leadership, how the structure, how the work processes, how the outcomes of the organization influences the behavior and performance of employees, either individually or in group. The influence could be positive influence, negative influence, it depends. Okay. It is organizational theory is the study of how organizations achieve their goals and objectives and how they can be made more effective and efficient. Okay, so when one studies about organizations and understand this, exerting efforts to understand about how organizations achieve their goals and objectives, then alongside this effort, he or she must decide to discover how the course of achieving goals and objectives can be made effectively and efficiently. Okay, achieving goals and objectives is one thing, but making them effectively and efficiently is more important. So organizational theory concerns about how to effectively and efficiently achieve goals and objectives of the organization, of a particular organization. Next is the scope of organizational theory. Okay, organizational theory is not an isolated discipline or an isolated field of study. Rather, it is interconnected with other fields of study and other disciplines. So under this section we will be looking into the scope of organizational structure in organizational theory, in a sense, with what field of studies and the disciplines organizational theory associates itself or relates. The scope of organizational theory is broad, is wide, and encompasses a wide range of topics, including organizational design, human resource management, organizational culture, leadership, communication, motivation, and decision making. All these topics fall under the scope of organizational theory. Okay, in one way or in another way, these topics are related to organizational theory. It examines the relationship between organizations and their environment, what we have already said, including the impact of external factors such as politics, economics, and social trends. Okay. Therefore, organizational theory sends its roots even to the concern of politics, economics, and social trends, culture, values, norms, customs. Okay. Because organizations function in the wide spectrum of a political, economic, social, cultural, environmental, and variety of the aspects of human civilization. So, the scope of organizational theory goes to that extent. The key aspect of organizational theory is its focus on structure and design of organizations. Okay, that is what we said at the outset, and we said organizational theory concerns about how organizations are structured, how organizations are designed, how organizations are managed. Okay, so the key aspect is about structure and design. And this includes a study of how organizations are organized and how they allocate resources, even how the allocation of resources at organizational level is a concern of organizational theory. Okay, falls under the scope of organizational theory, and how they manage internal relationships and work processes is a concern of organizational theory. Organizational theory examines how different organizational structures and designs affect performance and efficiency, how they can be optimized to achieve their goals. Okay, so it weighs, it compares and contrasts different organizational structures and designs from the point of view of their effect on the performance and efficiency while achieving organizational goals and objectives. And once it compared and contrasted different structures and designs from the point of view of their effect on performance and efficiency, then it also recommends or put forward prescriptions of how to optimize, how to improve those organizational structures and the designs to effectively achieve and efficiently achieve goals of the organization. Another important aspect of organizational theory is its focus on behavior and performance of individuals and groups within organizations. But last time we said that organizational behavior is concerned about individuals and groups' behavior in an organization. And here you may be confused that this is the scope of organizational behavior, not organizational theory, and you are right. But as I have told you at the outset, organizational theory and organizational behavior are closely related. In fact, they differ in extent, in their scope. Organizational theory is a macro issue, while organizational behavior is micro issue. Organizational theory concerns about strategic issues of the organization, while organizational behavior is not strategic, not this much strategically concerned, and they are closely related. Okay, what I wanted to say is they are closely related, and the concern of organizational behavior to some extent falls under the scope of organizational theory, and to some extent the concern of organizational theory falls under the scope of organizational behavior. They share some characteristics, features, and even roles and features. So in this aspect, organizational theory is also concerned about the behavior and performance of individuals and groups within organizations, and this includes how individuals and groups interact within an organization, how they are motivated and influenced, how they make decisions. Okay, when organizational structures, designs, work processes, leadership, when those are designed, they are designed from the point of view of how it will contain individuals and groups in such a way that individuals and groups will give their utmost effort for the sake of achieving organizational goals and objectives. Okay. Organizational theory examines how individual and group behavior affects the overall performance of organizations and how this can be improved through better management practices. Okay, how individual and group behavior affects the performance of the organization and how this performance can be achieved through a better management is a concern of organizational theory. It's still under the scope of organizational theory. Organizational theory also examines how organizations can adapt to changes in their environment and how they can create opportunities for growth and development. Okay, as I've said at the outset, organizational theory is a macro level study of organizations, and it concerns about change management in the organizations. Change management is about advancing organizations alongside the ever-changing contexts of the world. In this world, what is constant is change, and organizations should keep changing while politics, economy, social, cultural issues are changing. And one of the way that organizations can manage their change with the changing world is through studies, research and development programs, and this falls under the scope of organizational theory. Okay, how opportunities could be consumed, how opportunities could be used. All this falls under the concern of organizational theory. And another point that warrants to be seen under this chapter is the historical evolution of organizational theory. Organizational theory as a concept, as a discipline, is not a spontaneous issue. Rather, it has evolved over time, over different decades, and many authors and many scholars contributed their own share. Argument is developed, theories proved and disproved, and organizational theory in its today's content has come through such successive evolutionary processes of argument, proof and disproof, theory after theory, and different logics. So the history of organizational theory can be tracked back to the early 20th century. 20th century. It is in the early period of 20th century that the study of organizations began. The study of organizations began. Before 20th century, organizational study about organizations fall under other disciplines like sociology, economics, anthropology, and the like. And it was more of about understanding the social and economic functions of organizations. However, with time advance, key thinkers like Max Weber, Emil Durkheim, and Henry Fayol argued a lot about organizational theory, and they come up with concepts of organizational theory like progressy, division of labor, and management principles. Let's look the highlights of their contribution. Max Weber developed the concept of progressy. He was a German sociologist, historian, jurist, and political economist who developed the concept of progressy. And progressy is the system of rules and procedures to manage organizations. To manage organizations, system should be there. and Max Weber has developed the concept of progressy, which holds the prescriptions of how rules and procedures can manage organizations in a formal way, in a formal system. Weber argued that progressy is an efficient and effective way to organize large organizations, and that was essential for modern society. Okay, his argument is that organizations are indispensable social entities for people, and if organizations should exist, they should exist with system. If organizations should function, they should function with system. System should be developed, especially for large organizations. Effective and efficient way, okay, to organize organizations is must, and that procedures and the rules of establishing a system for organizations is technically known as progressy. Emile Durkheim, a French sociologist, developed the concept of social solidarity. He argued that social solidarity is must in organizations, and social solidarity means, having a communal understanding, communal values, beliefs, and norms. Okay, in an organization, individual employees come together, and they may work in the same department or different departments. Those who work in the same department should share the common values, beliefs, and norms in the department, so that they can collaborate, they can cooperate with each other. And the same thing is true for those who are working throughout different departments. So at department level, at group level, at individual level, employees, managers, groups in the organization need to share a common goal and the objectives of the organization. They should impress the vision and the missions of the organization. That is what is called solidarity. There should be a social solidarity, social unity, social strength, social support for each other in the organization, so that organizations can effectively and efficiently achieve their goals. Durkheim argued that social solidarity is essential for the smooth functioning of organizations. Without social solidarity, there is no smooth functioning of organizations. There won't be smooth functioning of organizations. Okay, an organization wherein individuals are not cooperating, collaborating, agree with each other, then that organization is a failed organization. Other things remain constant. Okay, so social solidarity, when the people working in the organization are collaborative, working team, and share common values and norms and beliefs, then individual and collective interests will be balanced. Otherwise, no. Maybe individual interests overtake collective interests, or collective interests overtake individual interests, and both extremes are dangerous. Both extremes are dangerous. So balance is necessary, and social solidarity is an instrument to maintain the balance between individual and collective interests in the organization in such a way people who work in the organization at individual level, at group level, should share values, beliefs, and norms, impress the vision and the missions of the organization. The development of organizational theory was also largely influenced by the work of American sociologists such as Charles Cooley and Herbert Plummer, who developed the concept of social interaction and the study of social organizations. Many scholars over the world contributed toward the development of organizational theory. In 1950s and 1960s, organizational theory began to evolve into a more analytical and scientific field with the development of management science and the study of organizational behavior. It evolved right from the early 20th century till 1950s and 1960s. The focus was on another issues, but right from 1950s and 1960s, it became more scientific, it became more analytical, it became more advanced. The studies start to expand and even send their roots into other aspects of management, looking for integration of organizational theory with other disciplines and field of studies, and the search, the discovery was advanced and looking for different approaches to organizational theory, and as a result, contingency theory and system theory and related other theories come into play, and we will be looking more into this contingency theory, system theory, and other theories of organizational study in the later part of the course, maybe chapter 5 of chapter 6 if I'm not mistaken, we will be looking. Today, organizational theory, in this period of our time, organizational theory continues to evolve and expand. The development of organizational theory, is continuing. It never stops. And new approaches and perspectives are emerging all the time, continuously. One argument come and overturn another and build itself, and yet another will come and overturn the existing and add some inputs and add some sort of knowledge into the already existing body of knowledge about organizational theory. The evolution is continuous and non-stopping, till today, and it continues to develop and evolve. It remains vital, today. Organizational theory remains a vital and a dynamic field of study that continue to influence our understanding of organizations and how they function in the modern world. Next is approaches in organizational theory, and we have different approaches, and the first one is classical approach, but let us stop here, and in the next video we'll be covering the approaches in organizational theory. So my advice to you followers of this video is that if you haven't followed the first chapter and second chapter of the course, please go back and start from the first chapter, and then you will understand about organizations and the details of organizations exist in the first chapter, and in the second chapter you will understand organizational behavior. Before you understand without understanding the first and second chapter of the course, it would be difficult for you to understand this third chapter. So my advice is go back and search into my channel. You will find chapter 1, chapter 2 tutorials, and then follow them, and you will be more more capable, more able to understand this third chapter. Thank you very much once again.